Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Stretch Panic. This is part 4 in which I face off with Fay Soff and Samantha. Let's go. So in the same way that each sister's demonic form is a reflection of her innermost desires, I think the environments in which you fight each of them is also pretty indicative of the character herself. For example, Fay Soff here you encounter inside what appears to be like a very small child's room, like a toddler's playroom or something from the decorations, which suggests a character who's very childish, very bratty, which is appropriate for the way in which she acts once she's taken on her demonic form here. As you can see, her form has a gigantic head and a tiny body, with each of the facial features accentuated. And there's a good reason for that, because once I do a torpedo attack against her, each of those facial features is going to go flying off, hence her name, Fay Soff. And once all of those pieces are off, I'm going to go in for the scarf bomb attack and try to exorcise that demon of vanity right away. Let's see if I can do that here. She's screaming about her face. So, given enough time, she'll eventually collect all of the parts of her face. She'll call them all back to herself. But you don't want her to do that, because when she reassembles her own face, she's going to reassemble it properly, the way she wants it to look. But what we want to do is slap each of these things on her in basically a random position to try to create the most hideous looking face that we can. If we do that, she'll get embarrassed, and that's when her true weakness is going to show. So fortunately, you can actually lock on to each individual piece of her face. It does make it a little bit hard to actually find her as I'm experiencing right now, because as I press L1 to try to lock on to the nearest thing, that's not always going to be Fay herself. It might be another piece. There she is over there. Okay, so I'm going to try to slap this mouth onto her, if I can. Looks like she's summoning things back to her, but we got a couple of pieces in the wrong place. It doesn't look like it was enough, though, because if you successfully mess up her face, she'll blush. So let's knock everything back off and start over again. Yeah, so this character is very reminiscent of what's it called, Mr. Potato Head toy, which I like a lot, because the whole room, like I was saying, looks like a toy box. So having this sort of toy-inspired character here is very appropriate. Alright, so I got one thing on her. Another thing I like about this character is that each of her facial features have their own unique attack. The mouth spits fire, and the eyes shoot lasers, and the ears have a toxic gas that emits from them, I think. So each one of them provides its own sort of treachery as you approach it. And if she gets all of them attached to her face, they'll continue attacking once they're on her face, assuming that they're in the correct position, but they'll also each attack independently once they're detached. Okay, I think that's everything. Was that all of the pieces? She should start blushing now if that's the case. But I don't see it happening. Am I missing one, or is one of them in the right place? Well, anyway, she's not attacking right now, so let's get some damage in. I've already exorcised the Demon of Vanity, so my only goal remaining is to just deal as much damage as possible. And since she doesn't seem to be attacking much at the moment, I can just flick for these little amounts of damage, which will eventually add up. And then I can go in for the torpedo attack for the finisher. Yeah, things seem to be going very well. Okay, the ear spat some stuff out at me, but I was able to sidestep it just a little bit further, and I think I'll be able to finish things off. Let's see. Oh, she's charging. Get out the way. Okay, perfect. Yeah, this game has some camera problems at times when you're too close to the wall, or too close to anything, really. Let's see. Okay, should be just a little bit more damage. Let's go in for the torpedo attack, and that should be an explosion, is it not? Yeah, there it is. Okay. I could tell when all of the pieces of her face didn't go flying off, because normally when you do a torpedo attack on Fay Soff, that's what causes her face parts to all fall off and scatter around. But because she was high enough on damage for that torpedo attack to deal a finishing blow, they all stayed attached and she exploded, freeing her from the grasp of the Demon of Vanity. So after this, we'll be heading over to Samantha's realm, but before I do that, let's check out another one of those EX realms and gather a few points there. In terms of appearances, this is the only one of the EX worlds that I really find all that interesting. I love the color palette here, I love the funky music, and as we can see here, we have a more powerful version of the Bonita Zako. They're a little bit more aggressive, as you can see. They sort of rush toward you, and they actually have attacks that'll hurt you if they manage to hit. So they're a lot more dangerous than the ones we've seen before, which their only means of offensive recourse was pushing you off the edges. And in addition, to offset the increased danger of this new variety of Benita Zocco, you can get more points off of each of them. You can get 3 or I think 4 points at times off of these. So you can just sort of attack them repeatedly. And as long as I stay behind it, I should be safe from its attacks in addition to being able to target. So that's 3 points. I should be getting a 4th one off of it now. Ooh, okay, I missed though, and I didn't hit a weak point, so even though I destroyed it with the amount of damage I dealt there, I did not get a point in return. Let's go in for another attack here. I guess maybe that's why the ones I was fighting on the island, sometimes I was getting 1 point out of, and sometimes I was getting 2 points out of. Maybe if you hit the breast as I did there, even though it doesn't give you a point, maybe it's still dealing some amount of damage. And that's why there's some variance in the number of points you're able to get from each one. I'm not sure, I'm just speculating here. Alright, should be able to get 1 more point at least out of this one though. If I don't grab the fence. Let's go for it there. Okay. And now you may remember in the last EX world I visited, you could get from tower to tower by using streetlights, and there's a similar setup here, except I've actually never been able to get this to work for me. As you can see, there are like 2 of them in a row, and there's a pretty wide gap. Like, I can't make this gap with a single jump, so I'm actually not certain how I'm supposed to go over to that other side. Like, I can try it a couple of times for you, but clearly I'm missing something here. Like, if I try to reach for the second lamp, I can't reach it from here, as far as I can tell. Like, if I see, I'm just grabbing the first one, I can't reach the second one. If I could reach the second one, I would think I could make the jump to the end there. But this one doesn't get me there, and it's not like I can land on the second lamp from here, as far as I can tell. So, I'm just gonna have to give up on getting to those other towers, but nonetheless, there are 2 Bonita Zocco that are right here by the entrance, and you can get 3 or 4 points out of each of them. So in terms of getting points, this is definitely a good EX world to do it. You can just come in here, fight these 2, leave, and then come back as many times as possible. And I assume that there's some way to get out to those other platforms. I just haven't been able to make it work for me. In any case, let's move along and go to Samantha's realm now. If I can hit the door, reaching forward's not going to do it for me. There we go. Let's go. I don't know anything about the development of this game, but those EX worlds have always felt unfinished to me. I can't help but wonder if the developers of this game had had more time or more money, whatever they ran out of, what they would have done instead, because, like, they're just not fun. It seems like I like the idea of points, that you can use the most powerful attack a limited number of times, that there's some cost to trying to fight each of the bosses. I get the purpose of the points in the game, but the means by which you get them, it just seems like a chore. It seems like any other sort of minigame could have been stuck in there as the means of earning points, and it would have been more fun. But anyway, right now we're fighting Samantha, so let's grab onto her and go for the Scarf Bomb attack. It's important when you're doing this to actually hit Samantha herself and not that fish monster of hers. It's described in the manual as a toy fish, so let's go with that. Okay, it looked like I only had 1 additional hand on her, so I wasn't sure if that was going to work. I guess they were sort of overlapping each other, but I did manage to exercise the Demon of Vanity, so we're free to focus the rest of the fight on just fighting Samantha. And, though we can do what I just did there and attack her while she's in the air. Whoa, she threw me out of the stage, that's crazy. And when she drops these balls, you kind of go flying. She's definitely one of the more dangerous sisters. She can deal a lot of damage pretty quickly if you get hit by her attacks. And what you want to do is, when she does go for an attack, is grab her chain like that, and then she'll be flung around and she'll become nauseated, which is disgusting, I might add. And during that period, she's vulnerable, so you can attack her then. I did not get a whole lot of damage in there, but fortunately for me, she attacks pretty frequently, and you get a lot of chances. But grabbing that pretty narrow chain of hers is actually kind of difficult. As you can see, she doesn't even have a weak point labeled most of the time. Even though you can attack her while she's in the sky, it's just so much more effective to go for that chain when the opportunity presents itself. Now that she's vomiting again, we can go in for a little bit more damage here. And wow, this fight's going incredibly quickly. I've almost finished it up already. Let's see if I can get a torpedo attack in there. Lovely, lovely. And just a little bit more damage, and we're already done with this fight, it looks like. Let's see if I can grab the chain. Oh, look out for the orange. Okay, good. Oh no, I got hit by the fire. Fire came out of the orange. Okay, get the chain. Ah, I missed it. Okay, where did she go? Alright, yeah, I like to stay locked onto her. I love the looking up view. She's come down low, so I can actually attack her right now if I get hits in. Alright, but there's the chain. Let's go for it. Nope, missed it. And here comes the orange. Gotta stay away. As I saw last time, fire comes out of it, so I'll just keep my distance. And I guess I'll get the chain next time she comes down. if she does. Or I can just attack her directly right now, actually. Let's do that. Let's do a torpedo attack. Try to finish things up quickly here. Okay, just a little bit more. Was that it? Yeah, looks like we got it. That was a really fast fight. Everything went perfectly well. I only got hit the one time, which is surprising. She definitely is one of the more aggressive ones. You can get hit for a lot of damage really quickly, but that didn't happen here. Everything went just perfectly smoothly, and we were able to rescue yet another one of Linda's sisters. We've turned the halfway point of the game, and we have just a handful of them remaining. And with both of the sisters on today's agenda freed, let's head over to the Gallery of Shame to learn a little bit more about Fay Soff and Samantha. 7 sisters down, 5 to go. It's a pretty short game, but I wouldn't really have it any other way. I think it's the perfect length for what it is. Anyway, here we have Fay Soff. More than any other sister, Fay was obsessed with her facial features. Her nose, her eyes, her mouth, her ears. She always paid special attention to each. Now her face is gigantic, and her features have a life of their own. If her facial features could somehow be rearranged on her head into a Picasso-style random configuration, the embarrassment would surely lower her defense. And also today, we met Samantha. Let's turn the page here. Samantha is the second youngest of the sisters. Indeed, she was born less than a year after Linda. Before she was seduced by the demons of vanity, Samantha loved playing with her plastic toy fish. Now Samantha's love for her favorite toy has been perverted, and the fish has become a deadly living weapon that can grapple large objects and throw them at Linda. I like the sort of parallel that Samantha's fish has taken on a life of its own, kind of similar to Linda's scarf. They have a similar function of picking up and moving things. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you next time.